Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. For those of you that are new here, my name is Kayla. I teach 5th grade science and social studies in the great state of Georgia. And that's my clue that kids are here. So I'll talk to you guys after school today. All right, so it is finally the end of the school day. It's actually almost 4 o'clock. I had a meeting right after school today, and that took up a big chunk of time, but necessary information to have. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about are my top 5 websites that I use in my 5th grade science class. Now, these are ones that I have vetted and I have tried out. You know, there are lots of websites that I've tried and didn't like, but these 5 are my tried and true ones that I use just about every week, some of them every day, within my 5th grade science class. So I am going to do a screen share with you guys, and so I can show you those websites that I love to use. All right, so coming in 5th place is none other than the one and only Quizlet. All right, coming in at number 5 is the one and only Quizlet. Now, I've actually been using Quizlet for several years now, and it is a great way for students to study important vocabulary online. You can create your own study set, and students, once you get them logged in, they can create their own study set. And you can also search for pre-made ones as well. Like if I want to, we've been learning about instincts and learned behaviors. Those are the ones that I've created. But you can search for study sets, you can search for users and even classes, and I'll select the one that I've created. But students can use this to study flashcards. It's almost like old school, like index cards using to study with the term and the definition on one side. And it's a really great way for students to be able to study important vocabulary terms that they need to know. I love Quizlet, and it's a great interactive tool for kids too. All right, moving on to number 4, one of my personal favorites, and it is Generation Genius. All right, so coming in at number 4 is the one and only Generation Genius. I actually love Generation Genius. It is a great website for science and even now math videos. Dr. Jeff is almost like the modern day Bill Nye the Science Guy. Me being a 90s kid myself, I grew up watching Bill Nye the Science Guy all the time, and Dr. Jeff does a really great job kind of, being that modern day version. But if you look here at grades 3 through 5, I mean, like, there are some really great videos, and they do a really good job at how to apply it to real world and do it yourself. But what I love the most about it is if you click up here on standards, you can pull up your state standards, and it will show you the correlation of videos. So if I click on Georgia, go down to 5th grade, here are my standards, here's the videos that match it. And I really can't speak highly enough about Generation Genius and Dr. Jeff. And the kids love it. It's catchy and it's interesting and engaging, and love Generation Genius. Check and make sure your district has a subscription to it. And if they don't, it's definitely worth investing in. All right, so coming in at 3rd on my top 5 science websites I use in my 5th grade science classroom is Mystery Science. All right, coming in at number 3 is Mystery Science. I do love Mystery Science. It's great hands-on little experiments and lessons for kids to do. And they, like Generation Genius, you can click on your state standards and it aligns it. So I can go to grade 5. We're in life science right now. And then it lists my standard, and then it tells the Mystery Science unit that I can look at in the lessons for what we are currently doing. Personally, one of my favorite Mystery Sciences that we do is for Earth Science. And it is all about erosion, and it's in the Birth of Rocks unit. But it's this one right here, How Could You Survive a Landslide? And so it talks a lot about how erosion can be a fast process sometimes, and shows them videos of landslides happening. But the coolest part of this is the kids get to be like engineers almost, and they have to critically think, okay, what can I do to prevent a landslide from happening? Or what can I do to protect my house from a landslide? But the best part about Mystery Science is not only does it give you a little like summary of the lesson itself, and you can preview the activity, but it tells you exactly how you can prep and what you need to prep with instructions. Now, they used to have an option where if this was your first time signing up for it, you got a year free. I don't know if they do that anymore. I'm very thankful my district does have a subscription to it, but this is definitely something that I would recommend looking into, simply because it's so great and the kids love it, and it really helps them solidify their understanding of your science topics. Coming in at number 2 on my top 5 science websites I use in my science classroom is Nearpod. All right, coming in at number 2 is Nearpod. Now this, again, like I've said with Generation Genius and Mystery Science, I'm very thankful that our district has purchased a subscription, a license for Nearpod. I literally use this for everything. I even use it during reading as well, because I do teach my own reading groups. But it's basically interactive PowerPoints. I mean, it's the best way that I know how to describe it. I use it a lot with task cards, and I will upload the task cards onto Nearpod, set it as student paced, and kids can just do it quietly at their desk. But I also use it for my instruction as well. And so I literally just upload whatever we are working on, the PowerPoint, to Nearpod. Live participation, I go at the pace, the kids' computers follow with mine. Student pace, they go on their own. Kids can go move along on their own. Student pace is really great for independent work. But what's so great about Nearpod is not only can you incorporate little quizzes and collaborations within your Nearpod, you can insert vocabulary, which, honorable mention right here, I love. It's super catchy little songs and raps about content, and the kids absolutely adore them. But you can also incorporate virtual field trips, FET simulators, and all those as well. And I use Nearpod literally every week. But it is, again, something that is worth looking into and worth using. And I can't speak high enough about it because it's just so wonderful. And I mean, there's a reason it's my number 2. All right. Coming in at number 1 on my list of top 5 websites that I use in my 5th grade science class is Gimpkit. All right, here we go. Coming in at number 1 on my list is the one and only Gimpkit. Now, Gimpkit is actually a new website that I have just learned about this year. I have a very dear friend of mine who teaches 8th grade at one of the local middle schools in the county that I work in, and she actually told me about it. And so I looked into it, and holy guacamole, I'm so glad that I did. Basically, it's review games for kids. You can import study sets that you have created on Quizlet and turn them into games. And so as you can see, I've got one right here. I can create my own kit using those Nearpod study sets, or I can search for pre-made ones. I do a lot of mixture of both, but you can assign it for homework and then print off a report to see how kids actually did, see if they are understanding the content, or what I do the majority of the time, play live. And if you click on play live, there is a bunch of different game modes that, you know, kids are really interested in. Their favorites, this one right here, Trust No One. It's basically Among Us. But they answer questions to earn energies, and with the energies, they can call meetings. They can, you know, use a disguise if they're the imposters, and they get really into it and, like, very investigative, and they love it. This one, this What Is, great tool for review for a test. It's basically Jeopardy. Humans versus zombies, another favorite. It splits kids into groups. Humans versus zombies. They can answer questions, earn energies, and they can sabotage the other team. Draw that. It's fun as well. This one, infinity mode, they can earn cash every time they get a question correct. And they can buy all 6 infinity stones. But boss battle, 1 kid versus the rest of the class. See who can answer the most questions correctly. And it's wonderful. I truly do love Gimpkit. The kids love Gimpkit. They beg and they plead and they ask to play it. And bottom line, it is great review. It does cost, I believe, I think you can get like a free 30-day trial. But the cost is very, very small. I think it might be $5 a month. Not very big at all. I can't remember the exact cost of it. But this is something that I am happy to invest in because the kids enjoy it, and I feel like I'm investing in them by investing in this. But this, again, is another one that I highly recommend you look into because it is very engaging for kids in a very fun way for them to study and master content that might be a little bit more difficult for them. So, number 1, right there it is, Gimpkit. And I will probably do a longer video on Gimpkit on a later date. So I really hope that you have enjoyed this video about my top 5 websites that I use in my 5th grade science classroom. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them down below. And so if you would, and you guys already know what to do, go ahead and click that thumbs up and give this video a like. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you can see all my new content, and go ahead and ring that bell so that way you can get notified anytime I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next week. And until then, mischief managed.